So let us start today's session. I'm sharing my screen. Before joining in, have you checked the agenda for the day? So I have added the slides for week 3 also in this week 2 slide presentation. So I'll upload it and you can have a look for both of the weeks, okay? So last time, what we discussed, can anybody tells us about the overview? What was discussed last time? No? You guys were not present or?
So, hello.
Yes?
Yeah, this is Enoch from
Yes.
Liberia. So, yeah, so there were a couple of things that were discussed the last time. I think you brought about a topic, say it was a introduction to entrepreneurial leadership, and you spoke on a couple of things, uh,
Right.
you defined the entrepreneurial leadership, what it meant, and you talked you gave us some key characteristics and traits of an entrepreneurial leader. I think one of the things I remember was you talked about the emotional intelligence. Yeah,
Right.
and you spoke through some bullet points there with some other words. Yeah, I
Right. So,
think that is
it,
yeah.
were you present on last Monday?
Last Monday, I think I missed last Monday. I can't remember. I can't really remember. I
Right.
think I
So, on last Monday, we talked about the types of leadership. So, you can have a look via a video I shared with you all on the channel. So, go through it. We talked about the types of entrepreneurial leaders. There are in the categories in the market, in the organization, and if you like to be one of them, like one of those kinds, then what you are supposed to do. This is something which we discussed last time. Have a look. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Now, for today's agenda, we have this entrepreneurship dreams and aspirations. Now it has dreams and aspirations. So when it comes to dreams, can anybody tell, as an entrepreneur, what can you dream about and what can you aspire? Anybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, go ahead, please.
As an entrepreneur, if I want to be a good entrepreneur and to be a good leader for entrepreneurial leadership, some of them are not like the six core principle of the leadership, which is entrepreneurial leadership. So most of them are wants to a good entrepreneur to work to achieve their goals, to success their project. So that we need to know about the entrepreneurial skills.
Right. See, whenever, because entrepreneurship is about the idea. So when we have an idea, of course, we think a lot about our future, that we will do this, that, and we will take, we will strategize things accordingly. And so these are all goals and dreams and aspirations which are expected of entrepreneurs. Okay. But what makes you different as an entrepreneur is don't live in that la la land. You have to come out in reality to fulfill those dreams. So what strategies you are following to bring those dreams into reality, that matters and that makes you successful. So if you are going around in circles as you aim to achieve your dreams, then the whole goal strategy will make the difference. Now, I would like to ask a question here that let's say you think that you are an entrepreneur because of certain qualities. Now, for that to continue that entrepreneurial career, what sort of attributes do you think are required to be successful? Anybody?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, so my question is, are there any certain common attributes or attitudes or experiences that can make an entrepreneur to lead to success?
Yeah, for me,
Yes.
Yes,
I would
anybody?
say the discipline. Firstly, an entrepreneur
Okay,
needs to have discipline.
okay. Who
My
else?
answer is my answer is yes.
Okay. Yes, and could you please elaborate why do you want to go for yes?
I am saying yes in the sense that entrepreneurs must
Hmm.
possess certain attributes or attitudes which can lead to success. I think one of an attribute or one of a factor that is needed in an entrepreneur is resilience and
Right.
also not easily giving up despite the challenges that an entrepreneur can face. Because in the course of running the business, there are challenges. So if an entrepreneur is someone who easily gives up, then it cannot lead them to success. So they need to be courageous, they need to have resilience, and they need to have focus on what they need to achieve. Thank you, ma'am.
Correct, correct. And do you guys also think that these common attributes, or be it in them or they are getting from experiences, are these attributes exist in them already? Can they be learned, or these are innate, from birth? There is a theory which is innate entrepreneurship theory, which says that it is all about the innate. It comes, the entrepreneurial category and qualities come since birth. So you cannot teach those qualities, but it is innate. So do you think the same way? Why not? Anybody?
Yeah, I think there are some of the attributes that I taught. People learn them as they as they go about, and there are some that are they are inborn. Some people. Let's take for an example. A kid, no matter how their parents, try you know, to to whip them, right, while they are young. If they decide not to take, the whipping for whatever cause, they will decide. But there are some kids that their parents don't even whip them. They don't even talk to them, but they just grow up to being decent kids. So
Right.
when we relate that to an entrepreneur, I think, and as according to your question, I think there are some entrepreneurs who learn, their attributes as they go about, and there are some that are just born with their natural, attributes that they possess to running a successful business.
Right. So if we want to list those attributes, you can see we have talked about them earlier as well, that what are the entrepreneurial qualities, that are the attributes only, or the behavior you can say, which any person who wants to, in a business, who wants to turn their dream into reality should have it. And you also guys have mentioned about this, focus and discipline. So these are the qualities like commitment, determination, perseverance, success of orientation, that you should aspire for it. Why do you want to have this sort of business, this idea? Why do you want to make it into reality? What sort of strategies you can have to make it successful? So that orientation has to be there. Always remind yourself that I'm here for this, this is required, all those sort of things. Then you have opportunity. You need to identify, those eagle eyes are required to identify the opportunities out there. And always remember, sometimes we always plan something and then strategies go, this happens most of the times, that things are not going our way. So you need to make sure that goal is in front of you, and split them into chunks, that this is my today's task, and then weekly, fortnightly, monthly, after 5 years I down the line I want to see myself there. So all these things, goal oriented you have to become.
Eh?
Then we have, yes,
Amatilonda. Oh.
whose mic is on?
Tomato kuzama panopo ndi mistake. Ndizija zinachitika chaka chija zija.
Right. So you have to be action oriented. Simply dreaming, daydreaming, that will not work, You have to become that action oriented. You cannot put the things down to the shoulder, on the shoulder of your team members and just relax. You cannot do it, because ultimately people copy you. People see you as a role model and do things like you do. You are the initiator and creator of the environment of your organization. And if you want your dream to become the dream of every one of us in that organization, then these things you have to, doers are not dreamers, or vice versa. I mean, not vice versa is not always true. Dreamers can be doers, but yes, doers have no time to dream. They have just set one goal. Now it is their responsibility how will they finish that work. Now, there will be barriers. You know that challenges will come. Sometimes you have decided that, we have five workforce, five people are there in the team. You have allocated the task, but last time, near the deadline, that person doesn't turn up. So these are the things, you have to be ready for it. You should have plan A, plan B. Keep your mind that much open with the growth mindset that this is not the end, and find out various ways, because you have to be goal centric. You should only focus about the goal, enjoy the journey, and twist the things according to the achievement of your goal. And then you have persistent problem solving. This is very important, because if you have to face that challenge, you have to come up with different plans, plan A, plan B. You have to change the scenario, and then let everybody know that we are changing this. So change management is required. These are the skills which we have already talked about. reality orientation. So you should be, those smart goals which we are going to talk about. Dream should be based on the goal. You can dream that I have said, I have this idea of having this, supply chain of apparel. You want to go in apparel industry, clothing. So you have this dream that to become a business tycoon, to list yourself in Forbes magazine and something like that. But this is very vague. You have to turn up, you have to narrow it down. Your dream that you want to see yourself in, on the TV or in the mass media gathering, something like that. That is a boost, that is a motivational factor which you want. But if you want to make it into reality, break this down. How can you reach there? How can you set up? How can be a business? How can you be a business tycoon? So the initial step, the first step is to set up the idea that you want to enter into the apparel industry. Now, second step would be which product do you want to continue with? Third product is all those responsibilities which come around this to make your product come up with this product into reality. And then you have to create that team which can envision with you that this is your dream and now this is our dream. So reality orientation is important. You cannot dream. I mean, you can dream, but only those things will come into reality where you are putting all those things, commitment, determination, your percentage of doing smart work, hard work. And then if external factors are also going along with you, you cannot control external factors. So even if you are putting your 100%, but if something happens, just like COVID era, we cannot help it. It was, so much time was required to analyze what was happening over there. So these things are not in our control, but we have to accept the reality that this is the goal. I think we are not able to achieve it within 5 years if this is the pace. So we have to extend the time limit. And if you want to achieve it in 5 years, so you have to see that what change of plans should you require to change it. See, you know what happened? Entrepreneurs are motivated. If I use any idiom, I would say to shoot for the moon in their goals and dreams. It's like they want stars and moons and everything. But there's some merit and downside for this. If you want to set your goals and expectations, you should know, you know those should not be too high, that you should know how to achieve them by beating the odds. Okay, so how can you do it? There are so many entrepreneurs who get up into their dreams. They want to achieve something, but they don't do it in reality. They don't put efforts. They don't divide their tasks, and years go by and they are not even closer to what they've expected. So that's why what you need, some of the people, if you are an entrepreneur, initially in initial days you think like a salaried person. Oh no, salary is not coming, incentive, clarity, all these things you require as a person who was employed and now he has turned up into something else, some sort of different business. It takes time. If you want, you need to, I've told you that if you have achieved something, if you have broken down the goal into different chunks, into smaller steps, celebrate the wins at every step so as to tell yourself that yes, this was the first milestone which I have achieved, and there is a long way to go, but at least I have reached here. I have started taking first step in the direction of turning my dream into reality. These are the things self-talk which you should, you know, talk about with yourself. Okay. For example, if we take this scenario, someone who is new to the sport of running, okay, and for instance does not set out to achieve a marathon right away. If you want to do a marathon, you should firstly start working on what? See whether you have that endurance to, if you have set up 100 meters, 200 meters, marathon is a different thing. You have, you have this dream, you have this dream. I'll take this up later on. So you have this dream that you want to achieve, you want to complete that marathon of 25 kilometers, for example. But kilometer is a huge thing. Firstly, you should start with 1 kilometer. If that is also too much for you, just start with, build your endurance by running shorter distances. And every day you have to be better than your previous version, as compared to yesterday. You should start this, you should build your physical strength. That is one of the strategies you can have. And then you should start uh, positioning yourself. That is, you are training your mind. That is the mental exercise. That, okay, today, oh, this was the gap. Yesterday I walked or I ran only, you can say 250 meters, 500 meters, but today I did 1200 meters. That is a big thing. Okay. So these are the things which you should make yourself know about it. Okay. Just bear with me. Is somebody waiting here? No. Hello? I've sent it there. Yeah, please check. Okay. In okay. This is the repetitive class and you should join by, but anyway, some people are facing challenges in joining the class. So also, see, this is your first time when you are into business. If last time was your failure, this time you have to make it. I mean, this is your dream that you want to make this business successful. Now, it is important to take the feedback from your stakeholders, from your partners, from the people who you are surrounded with or by, because you you are a pioneer. You don't have experience, or if you have experience, you don't have that much perspective to see the things uh, as they should be. So that's why seeking and using feedback can help you to grow like anything. Then of course self-confidence is the key of an entrepreneur, to have trust and having self-esteem, having those integrity and all those personal factors. Some of the factors are not so learnable characteristic. Can anybody tell me this keyword, not so learnable characteristics? What do we mean by this keyword? Anybody? No? So those characteristics which we really not do not require to learn. These are like we already know. For example, Though time management skills we have to learn, right? But the health factor, that if you are healthy enough to work, then you can reach your goal. So these are the things which you should be personally take care of. These are the characteristics which nobody would tell you or train you about. Okay? You have to learn these things on your own. Then you have to be team builder. Integrity and reliability is very important. Then only you can be able to build a team like an entrepreneurial leader. And as I told you, you are not a salaried person. As an entrepreneur, you should have this thing that in a team, you are at the moment not aspiring for status and power. What you require is, this is the dream, this is my goal, and I have to fulfill it. So sometimes, you know what happens? If you are at the negotiation table and things are not going your way, you give up. You say, I think we are not able to do this deal. If somebody tells you that, okay, we are not going to take this up further, this is, no deal, then you don't approach that person again with the different pitch. This is required. At the moment, you are no one. Think yourself as, I mean, self confidence is required, but in terms of status and power, you should not say this, with status and power, ego comes into picture. And you should not have it, because otherwise you would not be able to take the feedback. You would see feedbacks as your insult. That's why people are telling me which I already know. Those things which I already know. So it should not be the case. Then you should be responsive enough, because you are action oriented. So you should be knowing that how should, at the moment, I need to respond, because you have the whole team behind you. It is not only you who failed, it is the whole team. Now you have to motivate them. Then you can think of the plan, next strategy. You should motivate them then and there. Otherwise, your team can be broken down. So, if you want, we will talk about this. If you want to make your dreams into reality, turn your dreams into reality, first of all, you should consider, don't see the whole ladder, only see the first step. You have seen the whole ladder where you want to climb in your dream. Now, for reality, just see one step at a time. So, one, you have to, you should aspire for something you could do with your eyes closed. That is, start with the simple thing, those things which are necessary. Okay, so as I told you, this example, health one. So anyone who is reasonably healthy can work up to running a mile. So instead of telling yourself that I have to run for a mile, firstly, make sure that you are having, these good habits, like having homemade food, all those stuffs, exercising and all. These are required. Simon, do you want to say anything? Okay. Then the second category comes into picture for in this range is that comprise the list. All those things have to be comprised in a list that you really want. Okay. For example, you can say this is the value of the revenue I want to generate in the next coming year. Now, that goal has to be splitted into the first step, which will be finding the first client. If your product is ready, finding your client, those negotiation skills are required. Maybe you can hire that person who has that negotiation skill, isn't it? Can anybody tell me what other not so learnable characteristics are there? Health is one, which are innate. We don't need experts to learn them. What else can be there? Don't you think creative and innovative nature? So if,
Can you repeat the question? Repeat the question.
okay, Michael, my question was, there is one characteristic here that entrepreneur should also have not so learnable characteristics. So those characteristics which we don't need an expert to teach us, we have that those characteristics as an innate property. So can anybody tell me what can be those properties which are not so learnable? You should have it to be an entrepreneur or to achieve your dreams, goals, aspirations. See, some people are self motivated. So this is one innate thing. Emotional stability. Without emotional stability, you will feel like, oh my God, with one challenge, that challenge can break you down. So, it's simply if you see the example of creativity and innovativity, not everybody can become an entrepreneur. Some people are intrapreneur, intrapreneur, which means they are working for an entrepreneur. They have all those qualities. It's just that they don't want to take risk, and that's why they are doing everything, strategizing and doing everything without the investment of theirs, with the investment of others. So this learning, this creativity, innovative nature, risk taking ability, intelligence, and the ability to see a better future, this everybody aspires for. Now some people feel that they are comfortable what they are doing and they don't want to take risk. So that is something which they should learn, but that will not come under the category of not so learnable. Are we so clear so far? Everybody, are we on the same page?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now see, if you have a goal, you should set up a SMART goal. Can anybody tell me what's the full form of SMART goals? SMART stands for S for specific. You should be having specific goal. It should not be too vague. I want to become a multimillionaire. What do you mean by that? Firstly, talk about, the first step. You want to set up this business in this field. You should be very specific while talking, while setting up your goals. Otherwise, they will become unrealistic. And your heart will also say that why I have set up those unrealistic goals which cannot be fulfilled. Let's leave them. And then your self discipline will also go. You have M. M stands for measurable, okay, which can be measured. So if I'm saying that I will do a lot of work, a lot of hard work to be a successful entrepreneur, what do you mean by a lot of hard work? You should say, I will work, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. I will make plans. So it should be measurable so that we can say this is done. That is done. 50% is done. Achievable. A stands for achievable. That means, of course, as name suggests, goals should not be unrealistic. Those are those should be achievable, which can be achieved. Then you have R, which is relevant. Please make sure things have a purpose to serve. So whatever you are doing, do it with a purpose which can drive you throughout your journey. Just like we do bachelor's program, master's program, and then if somebody wants to do somebody wants to pursue PhD, everybody tells them that this is a very, a journey with so many ups and downs. That's why you should choose that topic which you can enjoy while working on it, while reworking on it. If somebody gives you feedback, your supervisor tells you that, oh, this is not right, you have to rework. So you should be able to do research again. And if you cannot do, just don't go for it. And hence, we should have relevant things in place. And T, of course, the timeline is required. Those should be time bound details. Without time bound, it is like, okay, you want to be a multimillionaire, but by when? You want to be an entrepreneur, you don't, I will think about this idea. I want to have this thing, but you are not giving yourself the timeline for which your mind will work. So there is no point. So I would like you all to read this case study and then I will ask you a question. Done? Let me know once you are done with reading. Guys, is it that lengthy? You're taking so much
Yeah,
time?
it's done. It's done.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
done.
great. Great. Now tell me one thing. Think about your answer and I'll come to you one by one. So Soraya has set up these three goals. Out of these three goals, in terms of smart goals, can you tell me which are following smart goals and which are not with the reason? So let's go with the first person. Any volunteer want to raise your hand? Which goal do you think that it is specific, this is measurable, this is realistic, relevant, achievable, and time bound? Any volunteer who wants to share their thoughts? Okay, Albert, Keith, yes, tell me. Keith, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Can I try?
Okay, fine.
Try, try.
So, wait. So, okay. Looking at the
Yeah.
the goals,
Hmm.
increasing the sales by 50%.
Hmm.
That one is lying on measurable. It
Okay.
means she'll be able to quantify and measure to say, okay, if my sales, for example, if my sales were like this, have they increased at 50%? That's just being measurable. Uh, on opening a new location, uh, On opening a new location,
Hmm.
on that one, yeah, maybe it's a realist. I doubt if it's realistic, of course, because she has
Okay.
been on that place for about 4 years.
Right.
But I'm considering hiring 2 employees as something that is, I think that is realistic.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks.
however, yeah, okay, fine, thank you.
Yes, Doc. Can I also add on the same, on the two?
Yes, please, Felicitas.
Yes, I also, according to my understanding, saying they'll increase the sales by 50%. I think it can also fall under achievable and measurable, because since the percentage has been stated, it didn't just say increase the sales without mentioning the percentage. It would have been immeasurable. But since the percentage has been put, meaning there's a specific figure and they work towards that. And then also on number two, open a new location. I think this one is too open. It's
Right.
not really measurable, because there are no other factors maybe which have been put in place, or maybe like a target also, so whereby you say measurable. It can be opened or not opened.
Right.
Yes, then also hire 2 employees. I think it is also measurable, because they have even specified the number of employees, so they work towards that target. They will not just say hire employees, what number? No. So I think I also support in that way that 1 and 3, they are measurable.
That's awesome. Anybody else who wants to add their insights different from what we've discussed? Okay. See,
Yeah, so
you had yes, yes, Enoch.
yeah, I was reading through for the stuff that you just put on here, and
Hmm.
but yeah, I myself I even have a question, and before I so my question would be, she has been running this place for 4 years already alone, and so what I see is that she hasn't made a lot of money, because even though she's trying to do it alone, but she could not have made it alone. And then they said specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Now, how could she? My question now is, she's intending
Hmm.
the next year to increase sales by 50% and open a new
Right.
location and hire 2 people. Eh,
Hmm.
So is that
Realistic.
realistic after
Okay.
she have run it for 4 years already, and
Hmm.
she haven't even climbed up yet to 50%? Because what
Right.
I know, what I know about starting up, startups, at least startup takes plus or minus one 1 to 3, 4 years, to really get to a place of self-sustenance.
Right. I got your
Uh,
point. See,
yeah.
uh, if you talk about any education industry, this is just a small tutoring business. So she's tutoring. Now it happens, for example, I'm taking today your entrepreneurial leadership class. Now it is a paid class, so I will be paid something about for this. Now, if I tell the owner or the organization that not only this, I can teach because I had these many modules during my MBA and further studies, so I can teach this topic also, this module also, this also. So they will give me more and more classes. Now I'm the only person who is taking 5 to 6 subjects and then seminars, for example, so that is fine. Now, for small tutoring business, when you have high school, see the product. She has a scope. If she's saying increase sales by 50%, so there may be many factors involved in it. Firstly, she can increase maybe the product price. Okay, for example, the tutoring fees now can be increased if she has got that footfall, uh, with word of mouth people are coming to her that the way of teaching of hers is very good, so we should go. If she has shown some results that students are really doing well after having the classes from her. Now next thing is she can have different subjects. By now maybe the case that she was only teaching mathematics or English, but now she wants to operate in she has been operating for last 4 years, but she can expand the product line, like different types of subjects. Then when she's saying hire two employees, so they will also come with their expertise, so they you can make a chain out of it, just like we have uh, though that what is it called, multi-level marketing. So you can think of that. Does this make sense now, Anok?
Yeah, from your explanation, I think yeah,
Yes,
it does
yes,
make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Great. Now as you guys explained, yes, 1 and 3, we can see that 50% the value, and two employees. I don't think that 50% is out of reach. However, definitely everybody, if I am saying that I can do 3 push-ups, 4 push-ups, definitely I would aspire to do 10. And then it is not necessary that I will definitely achieve 10. So goal has something to do with, you know, extra mile. So 50% is okay, and then we will see after the end of the year that what she has done. But at the moment, this is specific. Okay, they are quantitative. But goal number 2, where do you want to open a new location? Do you have any investment to put in? So if you are the only employee, so it is unlikely that you can achieve goals, 1 and 2 on your own. Why do you want a new location if you are only one, and you have not mentioned that how many people, how much business you want to acquire for? So hiring more staff also would increase the likelihood of achieving additional goals. So however, these 3 goals are relevant. She can say that I want to open a new location because the space which I was having, if I want to increase my sale by 50%, then there must be more and more number of people who are coming into, as clients, they are enrolling. So that means she might have this thing to open a new location. She can have online version also of these classes that can have, you know that can get rid of this new expenditure from her list. So this is how she can make this more achievable. And then if you see, Soraya should have additional monthly or quarterly sales goals. So these are not sufficient. She has to divide these goals into different categories so that she can have timeline. This is for the next year, right? So we can say timeline. She wants to hire 2 employees, but for next year is very far. She should have, quarterly, monthly plan also, Gantt chart sort of thing, where she can say by this timeline, by next month, I will hire 1 person and I will increase the amount of clientele. That person can also help me in sales and all. So, creating a pitch and then deliver it. We can reach out to different schools, so have tie-ups with them, some sort of thing. And then it could have uh, achievable, these are 1 and 3, and then measurable, specific, yes. Timeline can also be further divided, then that would be a perfect goal of SMART goals. So now if you have any business plans, make sure you have the SMART goals in your hand. Okay. Now, while this journey of an entrepreneur, when we are saying that be aspire for something, but then do it according to the pace that you will be able to achieve it. So, what are the things which you should keep in mind? First step is you should ask yourself three questions. First, are my goals well defined? You should, you know, just analyze your goals. Sometimes we are so much in rush that we just say, I want to achieve 100% score. Array, you have to see that how much did you score last time? What is the status of this subject as far as your cognitive skills are concerned? How much syllabus have you covered already? What was the attendance at your school? So, how much have you acquired the knowledge from your teachers, mentors? Would you be able to explain this particular topic to other people? This is how you can measure what you know. Would you be able to solve mock tests and questions based on this particular topic? So these are the things. Whenever you set up goals, you have a dream, you have aspire for something, you just jot down the goals, then think, are these goals right? These are these well defined? So what do you ask? In those goals, there must be personal aspirations. But with those aspirations, see the sustainability and size. Do you have resources in place? How can you survive in it? Are these any competitors? So, however, you will require all these things while making strategy, but at the moment you have to check the sustainability. So, sustainability should be your one of the goals, very important. And then, how much are you ready? Ask yourself, this is not an easy path to follow. Ask yourself how much tolerance you can have. Plus minus 5%, plus minus 10%, plus minus 20%. How much are you ready to sacrifice for your goals? Okay, if you analyze those goals and found out that yes, my goals are very well defined, then move on to the next step, which is for every particular goal, the SMART goal, do I have any strategy? And whether that strategy is right or wrong. Like, obviously, wrong strategy will only be, I mean, time will tell whether it is a right or wrong strategy. But, when we research, when we redo the things, when we reevaluate, we get to know the new flavor of that line, new flavor of the things. Maybe those were hidden between the lines, in between the lines. But yes, ask yourself, write down the clear definition of each goal with the strategy. Of course, there is an economic purpose to serve. So, will it be a profitable and potential business? If not, then which strategy do you want to change? If yes, do you want to continue it or want to expand it with by adding a new strategy into it? Durability, very important. It is somewhat relatable with the sustainability. Whether that strategy can be helpful in long run or it is just a short run strategy, because sometimes there is change management and you have to take quick decisions. So you just did it, you just made a plan and distributed it among your team members, and you say it, you tell them that this is just for a few weeks, this is the matter for a few weeks, and after that we will come back to our original stance, or we will change the strategy. Then make a strategy. Do you have a strategy for the rate of growth through which you can measure it? If you have the answer as yes, then move on to the next one, because by now you have that strategy, you just need to implement it. And for implementation, what all things do you require? Capital, labor, infrastructure, whatever it is. Your role, you should be more laborious, more hardworking than your team members, because ultimately this is your dream to be fulfilled. If the answer at every stage is no, then and you can have this chart. Every single plan you execute, revise it, go through it again, and then ask these questions. And in fact, you can tell your team members also, whoever is helping you in brainstorming and all those ideas, you can ask them, ask yourself these questions, and then come to me, because I will also ask the same things from you. So you should have that backup plan. And at least see, whatever change will happen, that will be then through external factors which you cannot control. At least you are contented that you have, tried it very well. So this is how you should, follow the strategies. Now, I think we are running out of time. So we'll start with this case studies in the next class. Do you have any doubt so far? Anybody?
Madam, I have a question.
Yes, Gibbon.
Yes. Is planning an attribute that is like a behavioral attribute, or it is like an activity an entrepreneur needs to carry out?
When we say attributes, these not only include the qualities, these include factors also. So those cultural factors also, how you manage them, your management skills, which you'll acquire with, with respect to time. Those also come in under this category. That means your inner self, your locus control, what you can control from within, what you can develop in yourself to achieve more and more. That is one attribute. And one thing which is happening in your surroundings, the outer locus control, the locus of control, that also matters, and that is also the attribute. So smart goals, these are whether, see, you can set up specific goals, you can set up the measurable goals, but are these achievable? You from your side thinking that this is achievable, but time will tell you whether you will be able to achieve it or not. But yes, we are counting it as an attribute. So factors are also including in it. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Any other doubt which you have, guys? Please give me thumbs up if you're good to go.
So,
Yeah.
Prof, Professor,
Yes, Pete.
yes, ma'am. I just wanted to ask this one question as you leave. Is it possible to have all of these attributes as an entrepreneur, but then the economic factor breaks you down?
Yes, yes. So there are case studies when you have everything, those attributes, but still you are not able to succeed. The reason being maybe high competition. The place where you are doing your business right now is not the place for you. You have to change, the surroundings. People are not accepting you. Sometimes what happen, it is like I am giving you a product with a label. It has certain qualities, but I don't know what comes into your mind, and you think that no, I don't like this product. But then I change the label, I change the packaging, and you are the first one who is picking it up, as your first choice. So sometimes you have to sell things differently, do things differently, and pretend differently. So for example, if this is one case when cultural factors are not accepting you, your product, maybe someone, for example, at the moment. I should not comment on this, but Israel and Gaza and Palestine are in, fight. The global circumstances are not very good, and some people are blaming Israel, and some people are, at they have different things. Now, if you are pro-Palestinian, if you are pro-Israeli, versus what you would do if you see any product whose country of origin is Israel, and you are not in the support of them, you will boycott that. Your government party, when COVID, it was about, uh, there was a story that from Wuhan lab we got this COVID virus. Then people were there who boycotted Chinese products even after analyzing that this was the country of origin. So there are many
Yes.
factors, and then external things like pest analysis, political things. If you are exporting things and government is not letting you in, government is imposing dumping duties on you so as to save their domestic market, then these things come, and if let's say you are selling a certain product at the moment, the VAT price was, the tax on it was, by yesterday tax was 18%, but now all of sudden government said that no, this is very booming market, and I think people should contribute more in the development of the country, so we are imposing 30-45% tax, for example, just a hypothetical scenario. Then what you would do? Maybe that whole sector would not survive. So there are many other factors. Just we get to know through case studies those failures, and then turning them into success stories. That is what the need of the hour. Does this make sense, Enoch?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It does. Thanks. Thanks.
Yes, they make a lot of
Keith, you
sense.
were yes, Mike. Okay, Keith, you were saying something. Keith, are you there?
No, no, no.
Okay. All right, so you have a very lovely evening. We will see each other on next week. Till then, take care of yourself and keep revising. Keep looking for different case studies so as you can have more practical sort of knowledge than academic. Okay? Okay. Bye bye.
Okay.